channel. I am Brian Lusk. We're doing another live on the commute here. This is where I talk about the latest that's going on that rattles around in my head from reading the news and watching what's going on. Understand that, again, this is done without notes or anything like that, so the information provided as just what I recall. Therefore, absolutely feel free to confirm anything I say. Let's go ahead and start off with Engels. Oh my heavens. I wish I had the picture that I could show you guys, but the Ukrainians reported a successful strike on Engels Airfield, which is one of the major hubs where Russian bombers take off from to attack Ukraine. And the Russians have actually confirmed this attack and shared the GPS coordinates even of where the attack storage depot, a weapons depot on the base that was storing a bunch of things. The massive debris was hitting 5 kilometers away from the site. That's about 3.2-ish miles, going from memory. Simply massive. And there is video upon video of this explosion taking place and damage to structures all around. In fact, there's reports of damage as far as 8 kilometers away from the epicenter of the blast. Now, the damage report is still being assessed effectively, but the last information I had, a lot of people were initially, I might add, saying, "Oh, there's this huge, this going to destroy, all these airplanes, all this kind of stuff." The latest damage assessment is the loss of the ammunition depot itself, which had 2 primary explosions, a large secondary explosion, and then a series of tertiary explosions that happened for hours as ammunition cooked off. But a lot of channels were like, yes, there's all these airplanes that are destroyed, and that may still turn out to be true. But the latest battle assessment that I've received has indicated that 2 airplanes were potentially damaged, as the ammunition depot was right next to a jet fuel storage location. And these 2 aircraft, one was reported to be a Tupolev 95, the other one I think it was a Tupolev 160. The number, it's a 3-digit number in the 100s, I just don't remember the exact number right now. As both being, quote, damaged. And that could mean anything from nothing left but ashes and tires to minor damage to the skin of the aircraft. We just don't know. So this explosion was massive. And of course, the Russians turned around and said, "Oh, I can't believe you did that. We had this ceasefire." No, we didn't. No, Russia turned down the ceasefire on basically all aerial targets and that type of thing. Having an actual ceasefire, and the object that was hit was an airfield, a military airfield, and therefore it wouldn't have been subject to the proposed reduced infrastructure and energy ceasefire. So. No, it's not. Then, of course, before that happened, Russia had already hit power stations in Sloviansk and literally hammered Odessa again, hitting infrastructure throughout Odessa one more time. So they had already struck energy infrastructure on Ukraine's side. Then, of course, Ukraine fired back with this strike on Engels. Possibly, it might have been done with the Long Neptune, which is reportedly the latest improvement of Ukraine's missile that can go 1,000 kilometers. So, we're not sure on that. It could have been drones as well. But either way, the explosion was massive. And so, therefore, we know that the strike was successful in that regard. Then, about 24 hours later, the pumping station in Sudzha, which, by the way, Russia has retaken Sudzha, exploded. Now, this is a gas pipeline or oil pipeline that goes from Russia to the EU. And Russia immediately said, "Oh, Ukraine has violated the energy ceasefire." And therefore, it's all Ukraine's fault. So, for Russia still hasn't agreed to even the energy ceasefire, and certainly hasn't carried it into effect. The whole story about them shooting down their own drones appears to have been absolute malarkey. But again, this is Russia we're talking about. So the thing is, the Ukrainians have said they didn't strike the pipeline pumping station in Sudzha. So who do you believe? Now, I'm not going to say one way or another as far as which side actually struck that pumping station, but as soon as it was Russia's spokesperson, Zakharova, I believe is her name, immediately jumped on the air and started saying the Ukrainians have violated the ceasefire. Ceasefire that Russia has not actually confirmed and has already violated themselves. So that's kind of how things are going in Ukraine these days. So much going on lately, and I've only got I'm going to have to bail off pretty quick this time because there is literal stop traffic here, and I need to be fully focused at this point in time. It's unusual because I'm on an interstate right here that normally does not have this much issue. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you guys see this later on, I would appreciate some comments. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video.